Hey chess friends, National Master James Canty III here with Chess.com, and today we have game of the day. With the white pieces we have Dragon, and with the black pieces we have Ruby. Okay, so this is actually from the Computer Chess Championship Blitz. Okay, and it was 960, Chess 960 Blitz Computer Chess Championship. If you look at the board here, everything's mixed up on the back rank, right? Chess 960 or Fisher Random. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it already. If you're not, you can check many videos here on Chess.com about 960. Chess 960 here, everything on the back rank is mixed up and you can still castle. All the rules are still the same and you still checkmate and you still should play moves in the center. With that being said, this is what Dragon plays. F4, right? Center move, some type of King's Gambit looking, but there is no opening theory at all. After F4, it actually stops E5 from being a move, and it kind of blunts the bishop that's already on B8. So you actually can't move it yet, even though you haven't moved it yet or actually exposed it. So F4 is actually a good move too, as well as the rook is behind it and it has some central control. There's 60 something moves in this game, guys. So we're going to fly through a lot of it, especially for the important part that you got to see what happened in this game. F4, C6, literally doing exactly what we were talking about here, opening up the bishop, but it actually is blocked already. Knight to D3, simple development. We're going to fly through the opening because you have to just get the pieces out. 960, regular openings, doesn't matter what you're playing. In chess, you have to get your pieces off the back rank. In a way, obviously, don't hang all your pieces, but you got to get them off the back rank. So knight to D3, bishop C7, getting the piece off the back rank, maybe castling this way. Knight to F3, and then some G6 action, opening up the queen line, which luckily B2 is defended. A lot of times you miss that in 960. So white plays E4, and then, everything's going fine, right? We just play E4, but in a way, ouch, whoa, wait a second. I thought that was defended. Bishop takes F4. Wait, what just happened here? I just lost a pawn, and I'm an engine, and I just blundered a pawn. But in a way, in fact, it is for a little bit of compensation. And I don't think he blundered this at all, but it does definitely look like a blunder because after knight takes, queen takes B2. And what do? You actually resign because that rook's gone. Now, with that being said, though, E5, okay, you start to see the compensation, locking out the bishop. Bishop has to go back, so it goes back to H6. After bishop H6, we see the A4 option, gaining some space, maybe even castling, maybe putting the bishop here as well. Let's get some more moves in. F6, which is a good move. I like this move here because what F6 does is F6 actually stops or tries to get the knight out via a capture. If you capture, then the knight can get out. Because of right now, it cannot develop. It can't get to F6 due to the pawn being on E5 and taking up some space and defended very, very well. So, all right, F6, E6, which is a cool move here, opening up the position. Hey, if you pawn takes, I got this cool move, knight to C5, and we live. Very nice action here. Both pawns are attacked. It looks pretty bad for black in many cases. So black says, I'm not taking that. D6. Okay, then G4 here, which is actually a great move from the engine. They actually said great move, right? G4 was very great here. What does it do? It actually opens the queen up same way as G6, but in a way that also threatens, or maybe you might think I might go H4 and G5 as well. So very clever move here. G4 is nice. Then you have A5 here, moving the rook up, maybe gaining some space, sort of just a waiting move in a way, trying to see what white does. White plays C3, opening up the bishop line, and we still haven't got to the big part of the game yet. There's a lot of moves. So let's get the pieces out. Bishop G7, H3, defending the G4 pawn, and then G5. G5, making more space, expanding. Also, what piece is really bad? This bishop, if we go back a move, gross bishop has no squares. You forgot it was even there. So he played G5 here. And after G5, there was bishop to G6. And after bishop G6, we're actually on the diagonal. That's what we want. So bishop G6, knight to D4 from Dragon. Nice move going into the position where the nice square is. We carve some squares around these pawns and then black's position so we can plop the knight on F5. Knight D4 and H5, opening up some lines and diagonals and files. We need to open some stuff up. Why not? Nice little pawn structure. Let's attack G4. H5, knight F5 from white, and knight H6 from black, actually saying, nah, you're not going to stay there too long, buddy pal. And white plays queen G2 because actually, not only are we attacking F5, G4 is hanging as well. So queen to G2 defends it. And bishop G6, we got developed. We're doing fine. Everything's fun, right? Everything's doing well. White has to do the same here because we're not looking the best. Knight to C1 was actually hit with great move by the engine here. Of course, says great move. And that's what it says. Because after knight to C1, it is a great move. It just opens the bishop up. Maybe rerouting the knight as well. but it's sometimes very hard to find these undevelopment moves just to make good moves. Knight to c1 and then queen to h7, attacking f5, putting more pressure onto the knight. But it doesn't really matter. You're not able to capture and win anything. So white goes knight to e2 with the intention of knight g3 or d4. g4 is hanging right now, so be careful with knight to g3. Rook h8, look at the piece cluster over here. All the pieces are over here trying to work together and get something going on this side of the board. White doesn't care. And Dragon says, okay, bishop d3, I'm going to do my thing. King c7 and king c2, right? A little bit of bomb cloud action here, like king e2 stuff. But we could have castled, obviously. White could go this way, and black could get castle this way, but they chose the king c2 and king c7 options, which is totally fine. And in fact, it may look like I'm stepping on this line, but everything's fine because the knight is defended. H takes g4, h takes g4, no tactics here. And black plays c5. Let's open some lines up, maybe bring the rook up eventually to c6 if possible. Of course, the bishop does stop us here. Maybe move the knight to c6, right? A weighty move in a way, also maybe stopping b4. But in fact, it actually provoked b4 because right now b4 is a wild looking move with the king here, but also we're first to open lines. Even b7's very weak as well. After c5, b3 from the engine, or from Dragon, the engine, or Stockfish, actually likes b4, which is a little bit better. In fact, it just looks really nice. b4 is a very cool move to make, isn't it? But b3 was the move from Dragon. And after b3, there's knight takes f5, g takes f5, and bishop e8. Backing that boy around here, trying to go c6. If you take a quick stock of the position, what's going on, fairly an equal game. Very an equal game. I think white's a little bit better in development. In fact, we know that. This bishop is about to move, and these rooks are going to be connected. When you still have discoordination of the pieces, this isn't even a piece. So, in fact, white is better, but not by a lot, not as much as you think it would be. After bishop e8, bishop to g3, we got our rooks connected. Everything's fine. Queen h3, trade them. Do we trade? What do you think? Yes or no? You got 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. It's a no. We're not trading these queens. Queen f3? Absolutely not. Because he wants to trade because we have a bad position. You trade in bad positions or cramped positions most times. So queen f3, we're getting out of the way. Bishop to c6, hit the queen, free tempo. And then we could move the queen, which is a possibility. Bishop e4 is a little bit better. Trading one of your most active pieces, which is a very good move. Queen to h5, and should we take? No, we don't. We take on c6 first. And if queen takes f3, we come back with the bishop, obviously. So b takes c6 and queen over to e4, defending the knight. Queen d3 was also a move as well. Okay, queen to e8, backing everything up. If you notice here, black's like not doing a lot. They tried to trade. The pieces aren't out. But again, white hasn't done that much either. I mean, all of our pieces are still past, third. We got 2 pieces, a few past the third rank. In fact, 1 piece and 2 pawns. But we do have space, which matters. All right, here it is. White plays this first move. This is where it's about to get wild. This is where we can slow down slightly and figure out what's about to go on here, right? Pieces are out. We did some trades. We're still trying to figure out king safety. White to move in this position. What would you do? Here it is. The move right here was actually break it open. B4 for the score. What do you mean here? Absolutely, that's a nice move there. B4 for the score. Attacking all of this. Just trying to open up some lines. My king is actually a little bit safer than black's. I have a dark square bishop that's on some files here. I mean, this looks kind of scary for the black king. When on the other side, I mean, white can just kind of hide in a way. B4, cool move. C takes B4. C takes B4. And then this move right here was very strange. Rook A7. Rook A7. Very strange move. And of course, these are engines playing. They make strange moves all the time. And you do try to understand what this move does. What it looks like it does is maybe some Rook B7 action, maybe trying to defend this file, maybe put some pressure here. Maybe they weren't going for Rook B8 because of the fact that the bishop is on this line as well. You don't want to have the bishop and the king and the rook like all on the same line. Also, maybe some Queen A8 action. After moving the knight, queen to a8, maybe defending, and bringing this rook over to b8. Remember all the pieces where they're clustered over here? Now he might be trying to do the same over here where his king is. Rook to a7, rook f to b1. Very nice move. Attacking, maybe pushing, we don't know. Knight to b6, bishop f2. I love this move. Rerouting, saying, okay, I don't have anything here, but you do. You have a rook and a knight here, which you were trying to avoid. Rook b8 that you ran right into after knight b6. Queen a8, we did get what we wanted here. Maybe bring any other rook over as well. And now it's time to strike. You do not let them just consolidate here. If you let them consolidate, get everything together, black's going to be just fine, minus the big pawn over here. With that being said, it's white to move in this position. What would you do? Here it is. This is what Dragon did. Dragon took this pawn and played B takes A5, and we live. B takes A5, bishop takes B6 is coming. Oh my goodness. Is this over? Is this just game over right now? Well, in fact, evaluation right now, spoiler alert, is +4. But you got to prove it. You got to prove the +4. After B takes A5, knight goes to D5 saying, ha, none of that. Now you could just take the rook, which most people would do, most humans, but believe it or not, I mean, as a human, you probably still losing this, but right now it's actually closer to equal, maybe like +1, just a little. It's baffling in a way to see that bishop takes A7 is not the move, and it's not as bad anymore for black. Right here, it's really bad. Taking the rook, not as bad. Strange. But after knight to d5, white plays bishop to b6. Beautiful move. Attacking, if knight takes, pawn takes, we get the fork. This one's going to be over real soon. So after bishop b6, king to c8, I'm kind of safe here. I'm about to move my rook next. You didn't take it? Cool. Well, we should be good. You maybe could take it now. In fact, actually taking it now is a complete difference, and you can take this rook and be in a winning position. Again, as humans, we should be able to pick this up and win this. Very, very, very hard for a human to defend positions like this from the black side. But with that being said here, white played queen to c4. Dragon chose a better move. When you find a good move, you look for a better one. He also sees rook a5 is coming. That is definitely or rook h4, some counterplay, which does happen. Rook h4, knight d4. Okay. After knight d4, there's rook to a6. So he's like, you're not going to take it? Cool. I'm going to move it. Rook a6, getting out of the way. Knight b6 could be a thing, but black is getting squeezed. You can't move anything. Oh, and you forgot. You got a pawn over here. You're literally playing down a piece. Now, you could eventually maybe try to get this going, and that's the only way you're getting this bishop out. Other than that, you're just playing down a piece. So, right, okay, white plays rook to a3. I thought this was a pretty cool move. You need more pieces. It takes 3 or more pieces, usually, for a successful attack. So sometimes you need 1 or 2 to sacrifice, and the other ones would deliver mate. I just gave you a hint there. Now, after rook a3, black plays rook to f4. Okay, cool. Rook f4 is on the board. Nice. Now it's white to move here. This is spectacular, by the way. It's about to get crazy. Keep your hands and your legs inside of the vehicle at all times. It is white to move. What do you do? Here it is, right here. Here it is. Queen takes d5. Oh my goodness, that is a queen sack. Nothing like a good queen sack. Queen takes d5. That's a big boy and big girl move there. That is ridiculous. Big engine move. Queen takes d5. Right? What's the intention? Well, let's see it. Now, of course, in the game, rook takes b6 happened. But you got to see what happens if the queen, what happens if they capture it? Well, that's up to you to find right now. White to move, what would you do? Pretty obvious. Well, that's why the rook's on a3. Rook c3 check. King can't go to d8 or d7 or c7 or anything 7 except b7. King to b8 runs into the same thing as king to b7. But after king to b7, what is the move? And I bet a lot of you are going to get this one wrong. It is white to move. What do you do now? Here it is. Many of you thought it was rook c7, right? Rook c7 check. Knight c6 probably. Oh, maybe taking a check here. I hope you did your puzzle rush today. Bishop a7. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Bishop a7. That is ridiculous. That's disgusting. By the way, it's a check, right? Nice check here. You can't block with. You can't go this way. Blocking with the rook leads to mate. And I'll actually show you here. Takes, and checkmate. And actually, sorry, queen here. And this is going to lead to mate 2 different ways. You can actually, I mean, there's like 4 different mates here. Knight c6 mate, you have, or coming with mate. Takes here, and then check. And then knight c6 is mate that way. There's a mate that way. But, of course, if king takes a7, well, look at the little smother. Oh, man, he's made it. Psych. Now he's made it. Look at this. Beautiful. Checkmate. Queen sacrifice. Bishop takes a7. Your king is forced. Well, not really. You have rook b6, which we just looked at. But king takes a7 leads to mate no matter what. Beautiful queen sacrifice from Dragon. Queen takes d5. Now rook takes b6 and says, okay, you didn't accept it. Cool, at least I'm winning. Rook c3. Now we're going to make sure that this stays pinned. You can't move anything. And as we fast forward, rook takes d4. Queen takes d4. Rook takes b1. King takes b1. When the dust settles, look at the position. Look at the position. I'm up a piece. White is up a whole piece right now. Now, for the people that's like, what do you mean? He's up a piece. He has a bishop on the board. If you want to call that a bishop, right? This is not, it can't move anywhere. It doesn't do anything. So we're just up a clean rook here. It's also, if you do get it active, we are still up an exchange, pass pawn, weak king. Everything's terrible. Let's fly through the moves and the precision. Queen takes a5, rook takes c6 with check. King b7 and queen to d5 or e4, which is really nice. Of course, the discoveries are everywhere. Queen to d e5. And then queen to c2, and oh, he's hanging mate. He's hanging mate. Oh, you forgot that bishop can't move. Right, so you're not hanging mate at all, in fact, because it's not a piece. Queen d4, rook c7 check, king a6 check. Right, and of course checking here. I mean, this is just over here. Anyone and everyone should, we say should be able to win this one. Rook takes e7, bishop h6, and this is history. Let's just fly through the rest of the moves here after we have pushing, right, taking on f6, taking on b6, or h8, h6. It doesn't matter here. And the rest is just, you could have done whatever here to win this game. At this point, check, and watch the precision here. Check there, or actually, sorry, it wasn't even a check. Like, rook f4 is like mate in 2. Everything else mates in whatever. But rook f4 is mate in 2. Like, that's just nuts that they find this kind of stuff. Dragon did a very, very nasty game here. With that queen sack on d5, it's chess 960, it's blitz. That was amazing. I hope you love this game. But I'm National Master James Cantor III here with Chess.com, and I'll see you guys on the next video.